Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to be working on our 2020 challenge that was issued by my buddy Ian at Back Garden Bonsai. We each issued each other a challenge for this year that would take the bonsai art form and push each other to do a little something that we normally wouldn't be inclined to do. So Ian just released his video this Sunday, so I encourage you to check out Back Garden Bonsai and check out the first part of his challenge that he's completed. And what he actually issued me was to pick a landscape or a scene from one of my travels, that I could pick anything I wanted from anywhere I've traveled, basically anything, and create like an epic landscape. And I thought about it long and hard. And my daughter Franny, she's training to be a professional ballerina in New York City, and I always admired the really amazing work that they've done incorporating trees into that city landscape. You walking down a sidewalk, you have skyscrapers all over the place, and there's beautiful trees all throughout there. They also are well known, obviously, for their park, Central Park, and right by where my daughter's at, Riverside Park, where we've had the pleasure of getting out, walking, checking out the scenery, and enjoying their trees. So lots of inspiration there. So when I first released this challenge and when I decided to do the New York City landscape, including sidewalks and buildings, and tried to miniaturize some trees to make it, the best landscape possible, I was thinking, okay, I want to do American sequoia because there are a lot of sequoias out there, and I didn't have any at the time. Well, I ordered a few bare-rooted online, and that was in March, right before everything got shut down with COVID. And so needless to say, that nursery shut down and I never received my trees. With that being said, I just kind of let the challenge fade into the background. I thought about, okay, well, I went pot shopping. I didn't find anything I liked for a pot. I went online and I checked out like miniature models of sidewalks and different things like that. And everything was either really expensive or it also needed to be painted, which I really didn't want to get into buying a whole bunch of things for one specific product or a project. So after doing some spring cleaning, we'll call it at the ranch, found a ton of old Legos that my daughter was obsessed with when she was growing up. So, it was like every month she would get a new one, put together the little village or, car wash or whatever that specific Lego kit was used for. So anyways, we have this full plastic storage bin that is full of all these different buildings and cities and people and different things. So I'm thinking that we should be able to put our heads together and be able to create a really cool city sidewalk landscape. And then you're probably wondering, well, what the hell are you going to do for trees? So I feel like the first and most important step is to establish, the size of the city landscape and see what we have to work with, and then work backwards from there. So I do have some black locusts that I grew from seed. They're about 2 years old. They'll be 2 years old next week, and they're in dormancy now, but I think they'll make a great addition because New York City has a ton of black locust trees. So I think I'm going to use those black locusts, and I'll leave those until the spring, which I know is in 2020, but whatever. I'm going over my time limit. So today, I think we're going to sit down, check out all these Legos, and start to build our city landscape. So that is what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, y'all. So we're down here in the basement. This is where I am letting my trees that weren't cold hardy enough to stay outside in a zone 4, zone 5 for the winter. So I brought them down into the basement. So they are going into dormancy, as you can see. This planting of, I believe there are 5 black locusts. And black locusts are cool. When they're defoliated, you can really see how twisty and windy and gnarly they'll grow in. I really let these grow wildly through the end of summer and into fall. I think their last pruning was probably middle spring. Yeah, so probably May-ish. So I really wanted them to kind of strengthen up, thicken up down there at the base, and get comfortable. So I think they'll make a great choice for heading into the city landscape. So for right now, Franny is home on Christmas break. So we do some daily work out in the tree farm. So we're gonna go get to some farming out there, and then we'll get upstairs and pour out all those Legos and see what we can create. So I just wanted to show you all the trees. If you don't know, black locusts have these huge thorns on them. Yeah. Actually, I think I have one that still has leaves on it. Yep, right behind it. So here's a single one. And those are the nice, delicate leaves, which is pretty cool because it has like a tropical feel to it all the way up here in New York City and New England. I'm just east of New York City in Northwest Connecticut here. All right, so let's get upstairs, get outside, get some work done, and then we'll come back inside and get warm, play with some Legos. We're going to get organized first. So what we're doing is separating all of these Legos into colors, regardless of, you know, shape and size and all that, just specifically doing it for color piles. And then we got like a human character pile, an animal pile, fruits and vegetables, getting all organized. So anyways, as you see, we got a lot to do. Stand by. Chipping away at it. See, you're getting more and more organized by color. And I kind of ducked out because I've got the English Premier League on. But I'm going to supervise from over on my couch. All right, y'all. So it is the next day. So welcome back to the Mad Scientist Lab of Legos and Bonsai. So this would be the front edge of our pot. I thought about it kind of all day yesterday and overnight, how I was going to, you know, make Legos and bonsai into a functional pot city landscape. So I figure, okay, we need like a subfloor of Legos, okay? And then I've got these cool little sushi drip trays that I saved. Well, they're for sushi rolls, but turned into drip trays. And with 4 of them like so, boom, boom, just like that. They all kind of sit into the frame that I've built up. Of course, I'm messing it up as I go. Okay. So we get them in there. Okay, this is built up a bit. And then we're going to do, I guess, your street level layer on top, leaving gaps in where the sidewalks are, boom and boom, so that my black locust trees can be planted into them. So it might be hard for you to picture right now, but it's like when you walk by a construction site and you only see the foundation poured for a house and you're like, okay, I can't picture it. Well, that's the spot or the stage that we're at here. So it took pretty much all day just to separate all these Legos by colors, and it made me think 2 things. A, my daughter was spoiled with Legos. And B, we have way too much stock in Legos. So anyways, finally putting them back to use now that she's a teenager and she doesn't really play with Legos anymore. I never did Legos ever. So, hey, thanks, Ian, for teaching me or bringing me back to a childhood game and craft that I missed out on. So with that being said, I think this is a good sub layer. And so that's where I'm going to stop today's video. Ian seems to be a little ahead of me. He just finished part 2 of his 2020 challenge. So if you haven't gone over to Back Garden Bonsai and check that out, I totally would. So parts 1 and 2, he's done with. He has a 3-part challenge because I'm annoying with my 3s. He was nice enough just to issue me 1. But of course, in true Jared Paul fashion, I'm making it way more difficult than it needs to be. So anyways, Franny, Laura, and I are going to get back to work constructing this up. So check back if you haven't subscribed and hit that notification bell so it lets you know when part 2 comes out. Please go ahead and do that now. Always having fun and doing some new stuff here at the ranch. So from me and mine to yours, happy holidays. Hope you're taking some time to enjoy what you love and the people that you love, and enjoy my bonsai channel. So take care, y'all. Cheers.